I know that at times it feels better to want to numb your emotions rather than to feel them, but it is so important to feel your feels. First, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm Long Island's eating disorder specialist. I post on this channel twice a week, all about eating disorders, body image issues, and general mental health. So if any of that interests you, definitely click the subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, subscribe to my email list using the link in the description below. What you'll get there is weekly updates as to what is to come for the following week for you, as well as resources that I create for many of my videos so that you can use it to get the most out of the content that I put out. Of course, there are emotions that we really are not desiring to experience, and many times it feels as though there's no function for them, and it's purely just to make us miserable or to make us sad or to bring us down. And I really want to talk about why it's so important for you to feel your feelings and not just numb them out, and how you can truly feel your feelings to get the most out of what they're trying to teach you. It's really important to feel our feelings and allow ourselves to experience them for us to truly process them and to move forward. I'm going to walk you through 5 steps to feel your feelings. Number 1 is to understand the function of your emotions. We have functions for the emotions that we experience. I understand that it feels as though there's no function to feeling sad. I understand that it feels as though there's no function to being anxious. It just feels as though we are experiencing something traumatizing to ourselves and to our bodies. However, every single emotion, no matter how undesirable it is, every single emotion has a function, and it is imperative for you to recognize that. And we need to understand that, yes, anxiety, however undesirable it is, that is our body's way of telling us that something could be wrong. And nowadays, of course, anxiety does develop into something more than what it was involved into doing. And that's why we need to learn to manage our emotions in that sense. But I'm not going to talk too much about that, but to recognize whatever emotions that we're having, there is a function for that emotion in some regard. And there is a basis for why we experience that emotion for any reason. And anxiety is going to keep you alive. Back in the olden days, really long time ago, anxiety was what caused you to run or hide from a tiger that was trying to eat you. And there's a big function for that. So that anxiety was something that was a function. And anxiety these days, the way that it could be functional is for it to tell us that something is wrong or to tell us that something needs to be addressed. Number 2 is to identify the feeling that you're feeling. And this might seem super elementary, but I'm going to be truly honest that actually a lot of people don't necessarily know the feeling that they're experiencing and don't really know what to label it as. So one of the ways that I would suggest going about this, and at the beginning of the week I had sent out a PDF file of just a bunch of feelings words. And again, I know it seems super elementary, but trust me, it's so important to use because sometimes we don't recognize exactly what the feeling is, and when we're able to label it, it really gives us a better understanding of it. So when we're able to look at a list of feeling words, we may understand and recognize that there's a lot more experiences that we're having and a lot more feelings than we originally had thought. You may have thought you were just angry, but perhaps you are also sad, disappointed, anxious, frustrated. There might be other concerns there might be other emotions there, and we need to recognize them. So next time that you feel that there's something that you're experiencing, I challenge you to take this list of feeling words out, or just look it up online, a bunch of feelings words, and identify what it is that identifies with you and what you're currently feeling in that time. Number 3 is understand the emotion, understand the feeling that you're experiencing. And part of this is to recognize for yourself, and I would ask yourself this question: in this moment, is this emotion functional? And what I mean by that, as I had addressed earlier or alluded to earlier, if you're feeling anxious, sometimes it really is trying to tell you something. It's your gut saying, listen, this situation, I'm not feeling it so much. There's a problem here. And is that a functional emotion? Absolutely, 100%. You need to listen to that and you need to feel it. and allow your body to tell you that there's a problem here. Maybe you identified that the anxiety is about a social event that you think that you're going to be completely ostracized because you're just going to humiliate yourself because whatever, you trip or fall. And is that anxiety really functional in that moment? Maybe to a little bit of a degree. Yes, we all want to be accepted, so we do have a little bit of anxiety with regards to social norms or social just being. However, the intensity of that emotion truly is not functional, because the worst that can happen if you fall down, if you're just so anxious, I mean, yes, you can get hurt, but the anxiety isn't necessarily about getting hurt. The anxiety is about the social humiliation. And the worst case scenario usually isn't social humiliation. Let's say you trip and you do fall. What's the worst that can happen? And even if people are laughing, that's not because they are laughing at you. It's just because some people don't know how to handle when people get hurt, and it's just kind of a knee-jerk reaction is to laugh. But again, that's not social humiliation like you thought. So is that emotion truly functional for you? Probably not. And understand what the emotion is about, what it's in reference to. And that's kind of an earlier step to even identifying whether or not it's functional. You need to identify what it's about. If it's about the social humiliation, that's something that you have to recognize that that's what that emotion is about, and then asking whether or not it's functional in that very moment. Step number 4 is to observe the feeling non-judgmentally. And that is a really key component to it. You need to be non-judgmental when you're observing the emotion. Something that I would love to say for this is curiosity. Gentle curiosity never has hurt anyone. When we are able to observe our own thoughts and experiences from a point of gentle curiosity as opposed to judgment, it opens up so many doors. When we are curious about our own thoughts and gentle with ourselves with regards to our thoughts and our feelings, we are actually able to learn from them. Judgment, it's not going to be something that can be a learning experience for you. So observe it, recognize exactly how it plays out for you, learn about the emotion and how it feels for you. And I really mean, when you are observing, be curious. And I would encourage you to journal this additionally. Say, okay, I recognize this is how I feel, this is what I'm thinking, and this is how I'm experiencing it. And you might recognize any physical sensations that you have. You might recognize how intense it is. You might recognize that the intensity changes depending on the situation, that it starts out really high and it gets lower. You might recognize that there's a cyclical thing, that it gets high and low and high and low. Recognize whatever it is for you, and also observe when it ends. How long did it take? How did it end? And was it something that you fully just were able to process, or did something else occur, or did you realize that perhaps it wasn't as functional as you had initially thought it was? There's always something to be learned from this, and I would encourage you, like I said, to write it down in a journal so that you can go back, because next time you're experiencing that emotion, you have a little bit of a textbook education for regards to how that emotion works with you. And step number 5 is to learn from it. Learn from this experience, learn from the emotion, learn what it's trying to tell you, learn if it's functional. Recognize that the observations that you made has a function. The observations that you have is something to be learned from. And you can learn about how that emotion affects you and how you could process that emotion in the future. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below about what your thoughts are about this. You can click my face over here to subscribe to my channel. And I wish you gentle curiosity on your journey to finding your state of balance, and I will see you in my next video.